The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Hello, I'm Gamechisa Mandida, your host for this hour's news. Join us as we bring you the latest stories and updates from across Africa. Let's start with Ethiopia. The 11th session of Tana Forum convened in Bahadar city of Ethiopia's Amhara region today under the theme Africa in an Evolving Global Order. The session in Bahadar comprises three components: a general opening with high-level dignitaries, a gathering of special envoys for the first time to discuss the security dynamics and mutual concerns in the Horn of Africa, and a session for foreign affairs ministers from the region. Our reporter Zalalim is there to cover this issue. Take a look at his report.
The 11th edition of Tana High-Level Forum on Security in Africa has just been kicked off this morning in the vibrant city of Bahadar. Bahadar is the capital city of Amhara region, and the president of Amhara region, His Excellency Arega Kabeda, has opened this important Tana Forum with his warm welcoming address. The forum is called Tana Forum, which has been named after Lake Tana. And Lake Tana is the largest, as you can see, the biggest lake in Ethiopia. And Lake Tana is the source of the Blue Nile. And the Blue Nile is the major tributary of the Nile River. And the Nile River is the longest river in the entire world. And Lake Tana is, of course, full of natural beauty and cultural sites. Because of this, the United Nations Education, Science and Culture Organization, UNESCO, has inscribed, registered Lake Tana as Biosphere Reserve. And now let me return you to the major focus of this live transmission, which is the 11th edition of Tana High-Level Forum on Security in Africa. And this important forum has brought together several scholars, leaders and policymakers from different African countries and from different African continental organizations. Tana Forum has been aimed at solving African problems with African perspectives. The major objective behind Tana Forum is, of course, to bring African solution to Africa's problem, to bring African innovative solution to the enduring security challenge of Africa. And the 11th edition of Tana High-Level Forum on Security in Africa is being conducted in the beautiful city of Bahadar, and it has been conducted under the theme Africa in an Evolving Global Order. Of course, the world is changing, evolving, and this evolving global order is impacting Africa a lot. You know, we have been witnessing changing circumstances. The circumstances of the world are being changed every day, and this changing circumstances impacting Africa a lot. For instance, one example, because of the crisis between Russia and Ukraine, Africa is hugely impacted. You know, the two countries of Europe, Russia and Ukraine, are the largest exporter of grain, the largest exporter of wheat product in particular. And Africa has long stayed as the largest importer of those agricultural products from Ukraine and Russia. But because of the crisis between the two conflicting sides, import and export trade has been severely hampered. And that created food shortage in Africa. And that has hampered food security in Africa. Therefore, the problem of the world is becoming the problem of Africa. And in the same token, the problems and the challenges, the troubles of Africa are becoming the challenge of the world. A simple example: illegal migration. Illegal migration is such a huge challenge in Africa, in it. So this challenge has been becoming the major discussion points in Europe politics, in American politics, in different parts of the world. For instance, if we watch, election debates, during election debates, maybe in the UK or in Germany or in Italy or other parts of Europe, you know, the illegal migration has become a subject of discussion for election debate. So the illegal migration, which emanated from Africa, is becoming the challenge of Europe and many parts of the continent. So Africa is not an island. Africa is not in isolation. So the problem of the world does impact Africa. And in the same token, Africa's challenge are impacting the world at large. Therefore, African countries need to come up with innovative solutions. African countries need to scrutinize and identify the security challenges of Africa and need to come up with innovative strategic solutions to bring and sustain peace and security in the continent. This is exactly what Tana Forum is doing. The 11th edition of Tana Forum on Security in Africa has been conducted in the beautiful city of Bahar Dar, and it's going to stay for the coming 3 consecutive days. And the forum will be conducted here in Bahar Dar, the capital city of Amhara region, and of course in Addis Ababa, the capital city of Ethiopia as well. The 11th edition of Tana High-Level Forum on Security in Africa will also spotlight the Horn of Africa security dynamics. You know, the Horn of Africa is such a dynamic region. The Horn of Africa is located in the northeastern part of the continent. And the Horn of Africa, because of its strategic significance, because of its strategic importance, is attracting the attention of the wider world. You know, various superpowers like United States, Russia, China, and other superpowers are being involved here in the Horn of Africa, and other regional powers are also being involved in the Horn of Africa. So these superpowers, global and regional powers, have brought challenges and opportunities for countries of the Horn of Africa and for the wider Africa. Therefore, it's going to be up to countries of the Horn of Africa. It's going to be up to countries of Africa to withstand the challenge posed by these global superpowers, these regional powers, and to utilize the opportunities brought by these regional and global powers. For example, there are opportunities with regards to foreign direct investment, economic cooperation, bilateral relation, and so on. Therefore, African countries need to withstand, need to tackle the challenge posed by global regional powers, and need to utilize, capitalize on the opportunities brought by these global and regional powers.
While Bahar Dar is hosting the general opening session, subsequent discussions will take place in Addis Ababa at the Adwa Victory Memorial Museum. Moving to Tanzania, Tanzania, in partnership with the United Nations Development Programme UNDP, on Thursday launched a $37.4 million project aimed at combating climate change, conserving biodiversity and reducing carbon emissions. The initiative, funded by the Global Environment Facility (GEF) and implemented through the Tanzania Forest Services (TFS), brings together contributions of $4.7 million from the GEF, $29.3 million from the TFS, $200,000 from the UNDP, and $3.2 million from private sector partners. Speaking at the launch of the project in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania's Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Natural Resources and Tourism, Hassan Abbasi, said the first phase will be implemented in Kilimanjaro's Chome Forest and Tanga's Amani, Magamba, and Nino nature reserves. He said the project demonstrates international confidence in Tanzania's climate and environmental policies. Abbasi noted that the project's success in the pilot regions could lead to nationwide expansion, adding that healthy forests are vital to human survival and sustainable development. Kemilembe Mutasa, Director of Environment at the Vice President's Office, said the project will also support the National Clean Cooking Strategy, which aims to achieve 80% household adoption of clean energy by 2030. Gertrude Liatu, Program Specialist at the UNDP, said the project will promote renewable energy, discourage deforestation, and encourage the use of electric vehicles in tourism to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Moving to Nigeria, Nigeria's Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Mr. Eperike Ekpo, has emerged as president of the 2026 Gas Exporting Countries Forum ministerial meeting. He emerged president at the 27th ministerial meeting of the GECF ministers Thursday in Doha, Qatar. The managing director of Nigeria LNG Limited, Dr. Philip Michel Bila, was also at the meeting, elected as Secretary General of the forum. During the meeting, member states addressed preparations for the 8th GECF Heads of State Summit to be held in the Russian capital, Moscow. The meeting also focused on coordination by members to address global policies that may pose challenges to the development and trade of natural gas. President Bola Tinubu, in a statement by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, congratulated Minister Ekpo and Dr. Michelle Bila on their election to the GECF high positions. The Nigerian government is proud of Michelle Bila's election as Secretary General and Ekpo's emergence as President of the GECF ministerial meeting, as the two positions reflect the international community's confidence in Nigeria's leadership and technical expertise in the global gas sector. The statement read, according to President Tinubu, the two roles assigned to the Nigerians were a reflection of Nigeria's leadership in global gas diplomacy. He said Ekpo and Michelle Bila would represent Nigeria with excellence and collaborate with other member states to deepen cooperation, stability, and inclusivity in the global gas market. Zambian President Hakainde Hichilema and visiting Mozambican President Daniel Francisco Chapo on Thursday held talks aimed at strengthening bilateral cooperation. In his remarks at the meeting, Hichilema reaffirmed the warm and long-standing relations between Zambia and Mozambique, saying the two nations are interdependent, sharing natural resources such as rivers and enjoying strong people-to-people ties. The Zambian leader emphasized the need to deepen cooperation beyond politics by partnering in areas such as infrastructure development to boost trade and investment. He thanked Mozambique for helping supply electricity to Zambia amid its current power deficit, noting that industrial operations would have suffered without the support. Hichilema also urged joint efforts to strengthen energy sector collaboration, including through shared venture projects, and called for accelerated efforts in Nacala and Beira corridors to facilitate the smooth movement of goods between the two countries and within the wider region. He further reaffirmed Zambia's commitment to working with Mozambique in protecting natural resources and tackling the impacts of climate change. For his part, Chapo said the two countries should continue to collaborate in pursuing economic independence. He commended Zambia for its historical support for Mozambique's independence struggle and emphasized the need for continued partnership to address shared development challenges. Chapo added that Mozambique is advancing plans for joint projects in electricity generation and gas power development to help address energy shortages in both countries. Chapo arrived in Zambia on Wednesday for a 3-day walk-in visit. Moving to business news, the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development is joining forces with the European Union to launch the Green Economy Financing Facility program in Tunisia, aiming to strengthen the competitiveness of the private sector and support the country's transition toward an environmentally sustainable economy. The landmark initiative, the first of its kind to be launched in Tunisia, will provide €59 million of senior unsecured loans to up to 6 local financial institutions for lending to micro, small and medium-sized enterprises. The financing will target investments in energy efficiency, renewable energy, climate adaptation and circular economy investments. The new program is also supported by the Currency Exchange Fund, TCX, and will provide Tunisian banks with a foreign exchange hedging mechanism at reduced pricing, supported by the European Union. Tunisia updated its nationally determined contributions in 2021, setting an ambitious target of reducing carbon intensity by 45% by 2030. The new GEFF framework will support this target by enabling more micro, small and medium enterprises to invest in climate adaptation and climate mitigation technologies, helping to cut energy consumption and GHG emissions significantly. These investments are expected to reduce carbon dioxide emissions by more than 26,296 tons per year. The facility will be complemented by a comprehensive technical cooperation package from the EBRD and the European Union, also encompassing capacity building programs for partner financial institutions with a focus on promoting equal access to green finance for women and men. In addition, the package will provide European Union-funded investment incentives to sub-borrowers that have successfully completed and verified their adoption of high-performance technologies. Finally, under the tenfold growth strategy, the government of Uganda has set an ambitious goal to build a $500 billion economy driven by clean, affordable and sustainable energy. Speaking at the Sustainable Energy Development Program Performance Review and Renewable Energy Conference and Expo 2025 in Kampala, Energy Minister Ruth Nankabirwa said that energy is central to Uganda's industrialization, job creation and socio-economic transformation. Uganda's energy access has reached 60%, supported by major transmission projects such as Karuma Kawanda, Gulu Kole, Nebi Arwa and Poyo Moroto, which have expanded electricity supply to homes, industries and social institutions. Under the National Development Plan (NDP4), the country aims to increase its generation capacity to 15,420 megawatts by 2030 and 52,481 megawatts by 2040, while modernizing networks and promoting off-grid solutions. At REC 25, the government also launched the Clean Cooking Unit (CCU), targeting 50% of households using clean cooking technologies by 2030. This initiative is supported by the UK and the Modern Energy Cooking Services Initiative. Minister Nankabirwa reaffirmed Uganda's goal of achieving universal access to electricity and clean energy by 2040, emphasizing the need for collaboration in order to build a sustainable, inclusive and climate-resilient energy future. Next, let's check the current weather forecast. That's it for this hour. We are grateful for your time and we'll be back with more news later.